Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Monica coming to you with yet another video. I wanted to get on tonight and be obedient to God and share something with you that He wants me to share. I'm hoping that it will be something that will inspire you, something that will help you on your journey, or something that you can share with someone else and help them as they go through theirs. I want to talk about my teenage pregnancy. I had experienced trauma prior to that. So going into that, I'm just going to jump right in. I was 15 years old, and I was really, at that point, I had gotten to the point where I was broken. There was a void. My father really wasn't present, and there were so many different things going on, in my life. And I really wanted love. You listen to the songs and all of those different R&B songs, and everybody has a boyfriend when you're in high school, and I wanted to experience that. So meeting him, he's 19 years old. He was already out of high school. So that's another thing why I thought it was cool, and he was older. And he began showering me with gifts. He began saying all the right things, of course, at that time. And I thought it was love. A few months in, we started sleeping with each other. And I got pregnant when I was 16. So it was almost a year later. And I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. And so, leading up to that, especially, a little while after I got pregnant, I started being verbally abused, and it starts off subtle, just certain things that are being said, you're overlooking it. I can't remember exactly all the things, but, just really, horrible things, calling me out of my name, all kinds of things that just, I'm already broken, I'm already pregnant. This went on, and it increased and it increased and it increased. And I was just, physically, verbally, and emotionally abused for so many years after that. And I stayed. I did not leave. I actually did not leave. I actually had a second child during this time. They're 7 years apart. So I had another child 7 years later, and in between that, I had gotten pregnant about 5 years later after my oldest child, and he was stillborn, and I lost that baby. And that was a hard time for me. For him, he was, okay with that. But for me, it was a really dark time, and I didn't know how I was going to get through it. I was already, going through all this abuse. I had this child. At that point, we had moved out together, and we didn't really have anything. I was doing most of the work. He really didn't work. I was carrying the load. And again, I'm this young adult out here, calling myself trying to make it work. With a child, and then I have another child. And at that point, I had started having suicidal thoughts. I was severely depressed, severely broken, damaged. I was just really down and out, just thinking about that dark place I was in. And after I had my second baby, I left about 3 months. She was about 3 months old. And a friend at that time that I had helped me to, see what was happening. And it was like a moment. It was nothing but God that gave me that clarity to be like, you have to go and you can't look back. And I went, I left, I never looked back. And that was just part of, my testimony there at that moment. But I'm saying all of this to say to you that I stand before you today. Even though I went through all of those things, God is still using me. He still wanted me. He still wants me. Even though I was to the point where I felt like God did not love me. He did not want me. I didn't even understand what his love was until, well after. I think my youngest daughter was a toddler. I think she was like 3, which was many years ago. About 9 years ago, actually, 9 or 10 years ago, when I actually got serious about my walk with him. I rededicated my life and began to understand what his love was as I walked the journey. But at that time, I was just really broken and having those suicidal thoughts and in that place. But I'm here to tell you, God still loves you. God still wants to use you. You are still purposed. You are here for a purpose. And I know that it's hard when you're so tied to someone, when you feel like you love someone, or if you're afraid that you're not going to make it if you leave. Whether you have children or not, somebody loves you. There's somebody here for you. There's somebody that cares for you, and you can get out of that situation. God will send someone to help you. And when you go, you have to go, and you can't look back. You have to go. If you have babies, think about how they're going to grow up, the things that they're going to see, the environment that they're going to be raised in. You don't want that for them. You don't want them to think it's okay to live like that because it's learned behavior. So they're going to see those things and think that it's okay to, abuse someone or take or receive, be on the receiving end of that. And they're going to feel like, well, that's just what relationships are. That's just what love is. But it's not. That's not what love is. And you're still purpose. It doesn't matter if you're a teenager looking at this right now or a young adult, and you're pregnant or you have babies. He's still able to use you. You're going to be able to help someone. You're going to be able to look back on this and you're going to be able to help someone come out of the situation that they're in. You are not, disposable. You're not, even though you may feel thrown away at the moment. I'm sitting here telling you, you didn't come upon this video by accident. You didn't find it by accident. It wasn't a coincidence that you clicked on this and watched this video or that someone shared this with you. You are loved. You are valuable and you are cared about. And there are programs out there, and I'm sure there are people out there that can help you. And if you have children, your babies too. I had to start all over. I was on welfare, and I was receiving those checks. I was in a program to help me understand, to get employment, and to understand how to conduct myself, and everything. I had to start over. And it's not easy. It's going to be hard. It is really hard, especially when you're a single mom, and it's going to be hard to trust people too. I've been there and I understand that. But there are people that are here in place for you, waiting for you. Just like God is waiting for you. He loves you. He loves you. You are the apple of his eye, and you still have purpose. And one day you're going to look back on this situation, and you may feel embarrassed, discarded, whatever your feelings are, they are not of God. Nevertheless, honey, you are still beautiful. Nevertheless, you are still valuable. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're having suicidal thoughts. It doesn't matter if you've tried to commit suicide. It doesn't matter. God can reach you where you are. We love you. And I'm praying for each and every one of you that clicks on this video, the ones, even if you don't, I'm still praying for you that God opens your eyes and that you can see your worth and see your beauty and come out of the situation, because it's only going to get worse. It only escalates. It is a blessing. It is a blessing. And it is nothing but God that I am here right now to tell you this story, because I shouldn't be living. I shouldn't be, but I am. And I'm grateful. And there's not a moment that I don't think about that. And how dare I sit here and not tell you this part of my testimony, because it's important and it's going to help you. I'm on the other side of this now. And I'm able to sit here and help you. And you're going to be able to sit on the other side of this situation, and it will pass. And you're going to be able to get through to the other side. I promise you that. God has a plan for you. God needs you. Don't forget who you are and whose you are. He gave you all the strength you need. Just tell him, talk to him, reach out to him, and find, I don't care if it's a shelter, I don't care what kind of program it is. And again, don't be ashamed to get on welfare or assistance or whatever you need. There's there to help you. So let them help you. I love you, love you, love you. I love you, love you, love you. I'll talk to you next time. God bless you.